Love having guests in studio. Joe Panic earlier, and Wade Davis and Greg Holland from the AL champion Royals, kind enough to take some time with us on Hot Stove. Good morning, guys. Good to see you in person.
Morning.
Yeah. Good to have you here.
The AL champion Royals. How cool is that? Wow.
Yeah,
pretty awesome.
It's pretty
They're thinking it could have been cooler.
Yeah, because they're World Series champs.
Coming so close. I mean, and I don't even know where to start on this conversation regarding the World Series, because it's such an amazing accomplishment to have gotten there, to have represented as well as the Royals did. But you take it to a Game 7 and lose. Is it a dumb question to ask, would you rather lost in 4 or 5? I mean, is that a stupid thing to think of at this point?
Tell him, yeah.
I think everyone as a kid, you're thinking about, you're always in the backyard, you're playing Game 7. There's nothing better in sports than a Game 7. So, yeah, it was special. We didn't win. I guess that's about as close as you can get to not.
Were you guys nervous playing? When you first walked, did it get to you like, man, I'm in a World Series?
I don't think so. I think the most nervous we were was in the wild card game. The place was going nuts. I never heard anybody. I've never heard a stadium like that. We played in Texas a couple of years ago, which was really loud. I was about to pass out on the field, and then that wild card game, I remember walking down to the dugout, and I had to go back up to the clubhouse because I was nervous just watching the game. It was so loud and that crazy. But I think after that game, it was so crazy to help us all kind of relax and settle down a little bit.
The fact that your bullpen and you guys being largely responsible for that success got so many headlines this year, and for all the great reasons, all the right reasons. Everybody was doing the comparison to the Nasty Boys.
HDH.
And I thought to myself, all right, the HDH bullpen in Kansas City versus the Nasty Boys in Cincinnati in the early 90s, you guys were like kids when that was going down. Do you have any memory of the Nasty Boys? Dibble, Charlton, that group?
No, I don't have any. I can't remember. No.
They're like, who's that?
Mark Wohlers, that's about as far back as I go.
Right?
Atlanta, yeah. Wohlers. Yeah. Man, that's a trip.
Braves fan growing up then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Based on where you grew up, is that why?
North Carolina. But we always thought that HDH thing was silly. We like going out there and competing, together. And when you're compared to guys like that, it's cool. So we'll take it as a good thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, who was your team growing up in Florida?
No.
Oh,
the Braves.
You're a Braves guy as well?
Yes.
So the Smoltz, Maddox, Glavine, I mean, that's something that you do remember, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of the benchmark for, I guess, every young guy that grew up in the Southeast when those guys were playing, right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I think your favorite player is usually one of those 3 pitchers, so definitely was.
Hey, Wade, I'm sitting here and I'm hearing about Andrew Miller, and they're talking about $40 million. All right, and he was a guy who usually thought, hey, I'm going to get money as a starter. So now all of a sudden, guys are getting paid out of the bullpen. I'm looking at you, Greg, but I'm talking to Wade, all right, because he was a starter when he came to Kansas City. So how were you able to fall into the bullpen role, and are you happy with it, and are you excited to see the money they're starting to pay guys in the pen?
For falling in the role was, at first it was a little weird, but I was surrounded by a good group of guys in Tampa, and then coming over here, the guys were great. Everybody worked hard, so that was good to be a part of that. And with the Andrew Miller thing, that's pretty incredible, seeing what he's probably going to end up doing with his contract. So that's a good thing for everybody.
We showed you video of you pitching, and they missed your smile. You're like, yeah, that's a good thing. So no, but it's usually the closers that are getting money, and here's a guy really who's setting up and saying that kind of changes the game. Greg, as a closer, and you're seeing Mariano was the benchmark for so long, was that kind of a standard you shot for, to be kind of, if I can get to that level, we all shoot to attain a level to get to. Was that kind of the bar?
Yeah, I think so. Especially when you hear how good he was as a person and his work ethic, and that's kind of, you want to model yourself after those guys. I was fortunate enough to get it into the big league baseball with Joakim Sawyer as a closer, and he was kind of the same guy, kind of led by example. So yeah, you definitely you try to mimic your game after those guys and just do what they do because they're successful.
Hey, give us a little insight, guys, and it could be after Game 7, it could have been after one of the postseason series. I mean, conversations you have amongst yourself, conversations with Ned Yost. Fans are always trying to get in the clubhouse, and what's it like to be there, and what do you guys talk about after a stirring postseason win or a tough postseason loss? Is it you kind of do your own thing and take off and come back the next day, or do you discuss things after the game as a team?
I know me and him personally, and a couple of the pitchers would always meet up in the training room or the food room, and we talk about the game and what's probably going to happen. If we win tomorrow's game, we're going to win the whole thing if we win tomorrow. Those kind of conversations. But I think we always took some time after the game to kind of talk about those things.
Has that been the case in previous years for you and you with Joe Madden? I know that staff was very close. Is that always the way, or is this team special in that regard?
I think it's that way on the good teams. I think it has to be. I don't think you see any good teams that aren't getting along. I think any team that's doing well usually has a pretty good personal relationship with each other, and they spend a lot of time with each other.
Does that require, Greg, a leader? Is there one guy? I know that James Shields was a real big leader role in your clubhouse. Do you have to have that one guy, or is everybody pulling it equally?
I think we all, as a whole, pulled our weight together. Now, we had guys like Shields, when he came over here, he kind of helped us realize how to win. But I think, on the other hand, you have guys that collectively, like our bullpen, we don't have a leader down there. We all do it together. We're all in the weight room early, 1:30, 2 o'clock, getting our work in. We're all discussing during batting practice, hey, how are we going to face Nelson Cruz? What are we going to do to this guy? What are we going to do to this guy? How have you had success? And I don't think, there's not a leader. We kind of all do it together. And I think the good teams, know how to do that.
Tell you what, I saw a different Ned Yost this year. Did you guys see that? Did you see a personality come out?
Which part?
So he had some more personality. He seemed a little more relaxed this year.
Yeah, winning relaxes you, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah,
So
it was good.
yeah, we had a lot of fun with it.
I think at one point last year, when we were struggling a little bit last year, early, I think he had lost like 30 pounds or something on the treadmill. And then when we got together and started winning some games, he just he came to life and helped all of us move towards our biggest goal.
Now, Wakamatsu's name's been out there in Tampa as one of the finalists. I'm curious your thoughts, because you've been around him, and you've been in Tampa. Does he fit?
I mean, yeah, I think he was an incredible coach, incredible guy to talk to. I think he'll be a great manager, and I think I've heard that from a lot of different people that have played with him and have played under him in the past.
Hey, what was the best part of this whole postseason run that you didn't anticipate? I mean, obviously winning is a blast. Obviously, with each win, things get better and better. But did something happen to you along the way that you didn't expect in terms of meeting somebody, in terms of an opportunity you might not have had?
My biggest things were the celebrations. I don't think, you see them, so you kind of anticipate them, but you don't really know what it's like until you actually get to celebrate with your teammates. I did get the interview with Heidi Watney, which was kind of special.
It's a bonus.
Yeah.
I'm happily married, though, so they can't go anywhere. But, it was fun. It was fun. That was the first thing that popped in my head, so I had to say it.
Hey, look, I appreciate the honesty.
Hey, what about, like, ticket requests?
Oh,
Did that just blow you away?
I decided how many tickets I was going to buy, and I did that. And then if there were leftovers, I would contact people, because it's hectic time. You're flying family to the West Coast, back to Kansas City. My dad and brother took 3 weeks off work, basically, to be at all the games, which is special. You want your family there, but
a lot of people get to experience that. Won't just like us, won't get to experience it again too, maybe someday. So
Yeah.
Right.
Did you get that World Series check yet?
I don't know. My wife's hid mine if I got it. Hopefully it went straight to the bank for me, because I haven't seen it.
We asked Joe Panik this earlier today and did it off the air because I wasn't sure what the answer is. Do you see like a template? You guys will get a ring. You'll get an AL championship ring. Do you see what it's going to look like before, or is the first time you see it when it's handed to you? Any idea how that goes?
I have no idea when we get it or what it'll look like. So I imagine once we get it handed to us, that'll be the first time we see it.
This is going to be part of the fun of 2015 for you guys. I mean, you guys are going in as the defending AL champs. I mean, is it going to feel different? Do you anticipate it feel different when you go to camp? I mean, no longer are you the little Royals that have to prove something.
Yeah, I think that's good, though, because that's what we're striving to be, is the best team in the division every year. And finally, over the last few years, we've got to the point where we can compete for that division. And you want that pressure. You're getting paid to play baseball. You're getting paid to win. So that's what it's all about. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Who's the character on the team? Who's a funny guy that's a nut?
Got to be Salvador Perez.
Where'd the cologne thing start from, anyway? He started wearing the Victoria's Secret cologne.
Oh, man, this guy was wearing it all last year. I remember I had a couple bad outings, and he'd come up and spray me with it, and it's gonna help you out right here. I was like, geez, Victoria's Secret spray in there.
I'm thinking of a bit like a hot stove bit. Salvador Perez at the makeup counter at Macy's. You know how somebody's always trying to spray you with stuff at the holidays on your way by?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Take this, sir. Take this.
Yeah. It's Royals catcher Salvador Perez doing the spraying. Yeah. Hey, guys, thanks for the visit today. Congrats again on an awesome 2014 season, both individually and as a team, and we really appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, guys.